is Steve Mascord. You're on rugbyleague.com, and this is our breakfast show coming to you from sunny, if a little chilly, London this Tuesday morning, May 20, 2025. We've got a great show for you today. Yesterday was a bit low-key, wasn't it? We just had a bit of a chat, called for questions on social media. But today, we have the acceptance speeches of Ben Elias, Andrew Ettingshausen and Paul Gallen when they were inducted into the New South Wales Rugby League Hall of Fame, the Blues Hall of Fame, just last night, actually, yesterday, last 24 hours. And Paul Gallen's comments have actually made a little bit of news. So it's also Teams Tuesday in the NRL, so we'll go through those hot off the presses and newsworthy team selections. We'll try to cover all the disciplinary news out of Super League and wrap up anything else that's happening in the world of rugby league. If you are listening to this show on demand, which means, in other words, a podcast, it's a fancy way of saying it, podcast, it is live on most weekday mornings, UK time, and that's 6 o'clock AEST, at rugbyleague.com, which is a 24-hour rugby league radio station. Do yourself a favour and check out rugbyleague.com. And if you are only listening to it live, if you're listening to it on rugbyleague.com, then if you miss anything, you can download the show from your favourite podcast platforms. And the overarching brand, if you like, is my podcast, which is White Line Fever Kicks. Remember that, White Line Fever Kicks. My name is Steve Mascord, Mascord. So if you ever miss a show and you want to hear it, you want to catch up, then that's where you can find it. Okay, we always start the show with birthdays, rugby league birthdays, and John Ballasty, who I guess is mostly well known as a administrator in his latter years, but he played for Eastern Suburbs. He represented Monaro, City Seconds, Country First. He is 80 today. It's a big birthday. 80 today. Born in 1945. And just below him, and I'm looking at Rugby League Project, just goes to show you how cruel life can be, really. Born 19 years later, Mike Gregory, the great Mike Gregory, but he left us in 2007. So probably for his family and former teammates, it's a tough day today. This would be a big day for them. Mike Gregory, who he lost to motor neurone disease. Jeff Hardy, a somewhat contemporary of mine, played for the Steelers, which makes him a god in my book, as you know. Also played for Castleford, St George, Huddersfield, Sheffield. Jeff Hardy sat in the judiciary for a while. He's 59 today. Happy birthday to Jeff Hardy. Andrew Purcell, who played his footy at Cass, Hull, Illawarra, of course, Swinton, and also represented Scotland. A couple of years younger than me. He's 54 today, Andrew Purcell, and became a player agent. Let's scroll down. Jason Bulgarelli, who we remember from the Raiders and Italy, the Azzurri, 49 today. Happy birthday, Jason Bulgarelli. Eric Anselme, the French international, very celebrated modern-day French player, 46 today. Happy birthday. Jesse Royal, what a great name, one of the best names in rugby league. And I think one of the first players, if I remember correctly, to have a ponytail in rugby league in first grade. Jesse Royal had a ponytail and a headband long before anyone else. He's 45 today. Richard Villasanti, another famous Trans-Tasman transfer, made his name at the Warriors, really. Did play for Australia. 45 today, Richard Villasanti. Happy birthday. Joel Moon, he is the centre, played for Leeds, very classy player, represented the Exiles, represented Indigenous, just 37 today. Joel Moon, we're getting younger and younger now. Elsie Albert, one of the greatest Papua New Guinea women's player so far. The sport is new in women's realm in Papua New Guinea, but she's 29 today. Happy birthday to Elsie. Brian Kelly, the centre from the Gold Coast, 29 today. And Sean Kepi from Manly and South Sydney is 27 today. We've got some young'uns this week. Young'uns. Okay, Back after the break, and we'll have a look at Teams Tuesday in the NRL. In the NRL, it is Teams Tuesday, and this weekend only 10 teams have been named because of Origin. So split round, and also Origin players unavailable. A bit of conversation on social media, as there always is. Oh, shouldn't even play club games at this time of the year. You know, the NRL is a content provider for media who pay handsomely, pay all the bills for the game. So what do you give if you're a content provider, you give content. So I don't think that's going to work, is just have no content, because you'll have no money if you have no content. Canterbury Bulldogs are playing the Dolphins. And for Canterbury, of course, there's players on Origin duty. Also, Jacob Kiraz and Daniel Saluka Fafita are out injured. So Blake Taff comes into the centres. Blake Wilson, both very handy players, onto the wing. Lipoi Hopai and Josh Curran. They're the new front row combination. Josh Curran's just back from suspension, and Bailey Hayward is starting. And for the Dolphins, Hamaso Tabuai Fido, he's on Origin duty. Tom Gilbert's out injured for a long time, 3 months. Jake Avarillo's a new fullback. Max Fegai is into the centres. Connolly Lemuelu. He's promoted to the. He comes into the second row. The Parramatta Eels are playing Manly. Here we go again. Manly and Para. Of course, Mitchell Moses and Zach Lomax are unavailable for Para. Sean Russell, he goes onto the wing. Jordan Samrani is in the centres. Dean Hawkins is the replacement for Mitchell Moses. Handy player, Dean Hawkins. Remember seeing him play previously? Good little player. Darley Cherry Evans obviously is missing, and Jake Arthur takes his place. Jake Travojevic, as we know, couldn't play for the Blues, couldn't captain the Blues because of concussion. So Jazz Tavanga is the new lock, and Jake Simpkins will be hooker. One of the other games is Penrith and Newcastle. I think that's one of our broadcast games here on rugbyleague.com. And Dylan Edwards, Nathan Cleary, Brian Doyle, Liam Martin and Isaiah Yeo, all unavailable for the Penny Panthers. Dane Laurie's a new fullback. Brad Schneider comes in at halfback, former Hulk AR player, of course, and a very accomplished player. Luke Garner, he's been ruled out through injury, so he's also unavailable. Tom Jenkins and Casey McLean come into the back line. Lindsay Smith is the lock. Matthew Eisenhuth is a prop. And, there's a few other little changes there around the bench. For Newcastle, yet another new halves combination. Fletcher Sharp is the fullback. Tyson Gamble's a 5'8". Jack Cogger is the halfback. A bit of a reshuffle in the pack with Dylan Lucas into the second row. Kyle McCarthy comes in the side in centres. And there's, like I said, a few other little changes around the edges there. For the Sydney Roosters, Robert Toyer, Lindsay Collins, Angus Crichton, Connor Watson and Spencer Lenu all out, all unavailable. And then Nathaniel White is injured. Dom Young gets a reprieve on the wing with Mark. See, I know how to say it because everyone's been saying Nowinical Marky Mark. I know how to say it, all right? I do know how to say it. I've said it repeatedly this week. It's just I've come in cold. Marky Mark moves into the centres. Nat Butcher also comes into the side. He's on the bench. Egan Butcher's in the starting side in the second row. That's his brother. And then Makahasi Makatoa and Salisi Foketti, they come into... they're the props this week. And a couple of new fellas on the bench. For Cronulla, Sam Stonestreet is out with Cinders Moses. And Mawini Hiroti takes his place. Teague Wilton onto the bench. One game left, and it's I think it again is one of our broadcast games. It's the Warriors at home to the Raiders. Mitch Barnett stayed in Australia for the Warriors to play Origin. James Fisher-Harris is suspended. Bunty Afoa and Jackson Ford come into the starting side. For the Raiders, Hudson Young is obviously unavailable due to Origin. Simi Sasagi comes onto the bench. That's it. That's it. Mark no. I'll get it right. I will. It's just too early in the morning. Mark Nawa Kwanatuase. There you go. I got it. So my previous inefficiencies are hopefully you'll overlook them now because I said it. Mark Nawa Kwanatuase. Okay. The other thing that we need to do on a Tuesday is go over the disciplinary rulings from Super League. And Gareth O'Brien, lead Leopards. He has a fine and he loses 3 penalty points for grade B head contact, so no suspension. Alec Tuatavake, also from Lee, he gets a fine and loses 3 points for the same charge. I hope this isn't getting boring. If it gets boring, I don't know, I'll skip ahead if it gets boring. Jake Connor, attempted strike. That's unusual from Jake Connor. No further action, but he did lose 1 penalty point. Jared Warrior-Hargraves for a high shot, which Jason Costigan thought he was fortunate to stay on the field after. He has copped a 2-match suspension and a fine, and he loses 15 penalty points, which takes his total to 16. Fellow big prop, Paul Vaughan, he leading with the knee, no further action, but he does get 1 penalty point. Roderick Ty, late contact, late shot. He loses 3 penalty points, 3 demerit points. And Roderick Ty also another demerit point for a spear tackle. Muiz Mustafa from Cass, he again is a late shot, and he loses 1 penalty point. So there you go. That's what's happening in Super League. Now, the background to our next segment is that 3 players were inducted into the New South Wales Blues Hall of Fame at the Blues Dinner, which happens around the same time the team is picked for the first State of Origin game every year. And this year, it was Ben Elias, Paul Gallen, and Andrew Ettingshausen, all inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame. And you're going to hear from all 3 of them between the next 3 breaks, or the next 2 breaks are going to be between the, you know what I mean. So we're going to come back after this, and we're going to hear from the Blues Ball. I don't know if this audio has been aired anywhere else. Maybe it hasn't. So stay tuned for that.
Thank you. Good evening. And ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute great pleasure. And you talk about passion and you talk about dreams coming true. I was very lucky to be in love with the game of rugby league. And as a kid growing up, you dream about playing State of Origin. And when that becomes a reality, it's something extremely special. And unfortunately, I was playing. My kids never saw me play State of Origin or playing for Australia at all. It was just a dream come true. And man, I've just watched the girls play their series, and congratulations. Love watching the girls win the State of Origin series, and so excited for the boys. It makes it it's a dream come true. And these, it was 40 years almost to the day, 1985, that I played my very first State of Origin with the great man, and we spoke about Steve Mortimer, who was one of the greatest leaders I've ever been part of. And I've had some good leaders, but to win that first State of Origin is the sweetest. And man, to be sitting here alongside these 2 great blokes. This one here was my card partner all our State of Origin lives, and we had a lot of fun, and something that you guys will never forget for the rest of your life, I promise you. What about you, Ted?
Yeah, I guess you play first grade and you're trying to play at the highest level possible, and then you're looking at always dreaming about those teams, those State of Origin teams, and being able to possibly ever get in one of those teams, and you work on your game I could score some tries, but the defence had to be picked up, and so you work on all the little parts of your game to try to put yourself in somewhat of a position so that you could one day maybe wear the Blues jersey. And I guess it's when it comes. I remember actually we were coming back from a Newcastle match, and back in 1987 when I made my debut, I was heading back in the car, and the 6 o'clock news was coming on, and I knew State of Origin time was coming around, and so we tried to get the radio working so we could hear the team and what players were going to be selected for the Blues. And when my name got called out, I was on the wing. I was just like, screaming as loud as I could. It was, the greatest thrill. And then to go on and play in a number of teams, over the years with such great players, to be able to stand in the dressing room and just look around and go, yep. I want to play with these boys. And it makes you go harder every year, and you definitely don't want to ever miss out on one of those State of Origin chances. So for me, it was the greatest prize, and I was very, very fortunate to play with some amazing players over the years, which I look back right now, I can just flash back to those great 90s, and so many fantastic players, so many guys who are on the wall up here right now, and it's a privilege to be able to join them.
Yeah, you guys will be there next year, Gal.
Oh, this is a bit of a pinch yourself moment for me. To see these two play. I remember when I was a kid, I'll never forget, I was 7 or 8 years old, and in the Milton Street car park, Milton Street Hotel at Auburn, it is, it's a pub there. I think I was waiting for Dad in the pub in the car park, and someone walked out and threw me a footy. It was a New South Wales ball. And from that point on, I was a New South Wales fan. I never followed any other rugby league team, never went for anyone else. I only followed New South Wales, and be able to play for them, that 8-year-old kid would be very, very happy. But to be sitting up here now with these two blokes is pretty amazing. To be played for Wenny back in the day, and we used to train on Wednesday night, and couldn't wait to get home to see who took the first hit up, and these two blokes were playing. And so to be sitting up here with them right now it's quite amazing. To be able to celebrate here tonight with Laurie Daly, a bloke who meant so much to me when I was playing. Head to me as well was. You're an outstanding coach, man. I promise all you boys out there, you want to play for him. Play next week. He's a great coach. Shows great passion towards the blue jersey, and you want to play for him by Wednesday night. I promise you that. So all the best to you boys. But just for me personally, this is unreal. I sort of have a bit of a feeling when you retire, you're sort of done. You're done and dusted. You sort of just let the new kids on the block get on with it. But to be sitting up here now and to be celebrated, this is pretty special.
One of those iconic moments, yeah. Well said, all three of you. Benny, one of the iconic moments for me, having known you for so long, is when your mum came out. It was one, and there's one of those moments. It's one of those pictures that will live forever in State of Origin folklore.
Yeah, look, you're right, Tim. To share that moment with your mum is just, it's off the Richter scale. There was 15 seconds left to go on the game, and I looked to my left, and it's my mother there wiping the blood off my head. I thought, how the hell did you get through here? You had all the security people. She's jumped the fence and she's got on the own. Your mother didn't give two shits about what was happening. She was just worried about her son. And I think a lot of you people out there can relate to that. But it was one of those great moments. And look, God, Mum's left us now, and but forever will soon be probably the most noted mother, I would say, in State of Origin history. And it was a great moment. It was a great win, and it was very special to just share that moment with your mum.
Absolutely, and the family tradition continues for you guys.
Yeah, my mate over here, Mitch, congratulations, mate. We're all very proud of you, as you know that, and don't have to go on with that. But Mitch is just, look, he's earned his stripes. He's worked extremely hard, and I'm so happy for him. And so, and I think all of New South Wales, we've got 8 million people, and the one thing, whether they follow rugby league or whether they follow rugby union or AFL or soccer, cricket, this State of Origin series, they all come together. Everyone you've come across in life will say, oh, I knew him, or had a fight with him in the schoolyard, or that's my first, that was my first boyfriend. And yeah, so many people from all walks of life, politicians, judges, the bloke in the pub, they all come together to watch this great, great game. And in almost 10 days' time, this is the most exciting time of their life. And I'm so glad and happy for you, Mitch, mate. You know, I just love you. Like, you know, we don't communicate anywhere near as much as people think we do, but what we say and what we do are very special. And I think that just typifies what our side's all about.
Quite interesting you used the word fight in there. Makes me think of Nate Miles, Gal. That one fateful night. It started what was another career of yours.
Yeah, the also ruined the game. Can't do it anymore, so it's all my fault. Yeah, that was Laurie Daly and Jimmy Dimmick's fault, actually. So at the start of camp, Loz walked in and showed a video of basically every time we scored a try, Queensland would jump on our legs, our back, or do something to us, and Loz basically said, what are you going to do about this? She said, I'm going to stand up to it. And I said, yeah, as captain, I said, yeah, I will. And Michael Jennings scored the first try and someone jumped on the back of his legs and I said, if you do that again, I'm going to punch you in the head. And anyway, there's a bit of push and shove and carry on as there is. And it's about a minute to go before half time and I did give Nate a little cheap shot and he basically said, is that the best you got? And I said, he kept walking at me, so that's what happened. I decided to punch him and yeah, unfortunately ruined the game. Can't throw punches after that. But look, it's something I'm not proud of it, to be honest. It's not, you know, we'd much rather won that series. They did beat us that series. We won that game, but they did beat us that series. It wasn't until next year we won the series. So yeah, I'd give it all back to to go back and win a couple more series would have been great. But unfortunately, it comes at a pretty tough time where Queensland had a red hot side. But we toughed it out every year. We tried our backs off every single year. We turned up every year. We took the majority of the series to deciders, and thankfully 2014 we got the job done.
E.T., you mentioned before looking around the room and looking at people. How much for us mere mortals who only ever watched Origin, I've had the fortune of covering many, but about being a good teammate, about being part of, there's no I in teams, the old cliche.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, the good thing is these boys are in camp. They were probably in that nervous situation not that long ago that, you know, hoping that their name was going to get read out and get that phone call. But from there, it's basically, yeah, you want to really know these guys as best you can. So, you know, back in our day, it was a little bit different. We'd get out and have a few beers, or maybe a few too many beers. But yeah, I think you know, they're off in camp tomorrow. I think that's a crucial part. You've really got to know as much as you can. You're from all different clubs. You know, you often haven't played and built those combinations. Those combinations are so important. And those combinations win your state of origin. So, you know, obviously on the back of, you know, a great win last year, many of the players are picked again from that. And it's getting those little combinations right, really important. I think over the last few years, sometimes the combinations haven't been quite right around, you know, even the halves. And so now, you know, I think we can all be very confident that we've got players there who can do the job.
What's your message, Gal, to the boys and the girls? Obviously, a great win they're going for the clean sweep, but what's your message ahead of the games that are on their way?
Yeah, well done to the girls. I said congratulations to them before, so well done. Great win. Hopefully you win 3-0, that'd be fantastic. To the boys, just enjoy it. It's a time of your life, it really is. I'll be honest, I don't miss rugby league, playing it. I sort of get to an age now you can't do it anymore, but whenever I sit on the sideline to watch you boys play State of Origin, I absolutely love when you run out. You know, you get that emotion flowing through your body. And I would do anything to be able to do that one more time. So just enjoy it where you can, soak it all in, get to know your teammates, enjoy each other, want to play for each other, want to play for yourselves, your family, your friends, everyone help you get there, and just love it, mate, just enjoy it. And honestly, it's a time in life, it's the best rugby league you play, and get out there and get the job done. I wish you all the best, boys.
Absolutely, well said. Final word for you, Benny, on a lighter note, not always easy travelling to Queensland as a New South Welshman.
It's never easy going up there now. And that's what makes it so exciting. It's the unknown and, you know, going on their turf, they're very proud, obviously. We won't underestimate it. I wish Loz, who I had the very fortunate pleasure of playing with him at State of Origin. And I see the players around here, like you've got your Wayne Pearce's, Blocker Rhodes, Paul Seranen, Tim Brasher, Gary Jack. I mean, all these blokes are here tonight. It's all part of this build-up for what the boys are going through. And it really is exciting stuff. And I just think, believe in themselves, back what you do, and, do what you did last year.
Like going past the Caxton.
The Caxton Hotel? Well, the Caxton's another thing. If you haven't been past it, it's one of those...
I remember, you tell your story.
It's one of those, mate, the Steve Mortimer. 1985 was my very first debut, and Steve Mortimer got the bus and we drove past it. It was the Tooheys Blues back then, and he stopped the bus outside the Caxton Hotel, and he had people throwing cans, and these people had been sitting there. They wait all year, these Queenslanders, all year. They just love the state of origin. It's the chance that they can pull the pants down of the big brother. And this is it. The bus stopped out the front, and they got pelted with cans and whatnot. And Terri just got the team down at the back of the bus and just told the players that time, Junior, you were there, Blocker was there, and he just reminded us of how important the state of origin is and how you're representing this great city of ours, this great state of New South Wales. And I could see in Noel Cleal and Eric Groth and Brett Kenny Jr., you could see that they were just ready to go. And I just knew from the minute we took off from the Caxton that we were going to win game one up there in Queensland, and we did. And I oozed, and I just can close my eyes 40 years down the track. I say this to you guys because as day goes tonight, this will be one of the greatest moments of your life. And the joy you'll bring all these New South Wales people, the reasons we're in this spectacular extravaganza, the reasons that everyone that you pass in the streets all want you to do the job, and I know you'll do it. And do it up there is greater than doing it anywhere else. So I wish you all the best.
Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you to my friend. I won't name him in case he doesn't want to be named, who's got that audio to us. It was fantastic to hear those accepted speeches, all three of them. E.T., Gal, and Benny were very eloquent and very emotional, and it was good radio, I think. This weekend on rugbyleague.com, on Friday, 11 o'clock UK time, it's Parramatta versus Manly. Mark Levy, Mark Riddell, and Josh Morris in the chair for that game. On Friday night at 8 p.m, it's Warrington at home to Hull KR. Jason Costigan will be your commentator there. On Saturday morning, we've got Penrith taking on Newcastle. That game is at 8:30 UK time. And you'll hear that commentary from Mark Levy, Daryl Broman, and Paul Gallen. And then on Saturday evening, the Catalans Dragons have a home match against the Wigan Warriors. And that's at 5:30 UK time. Jason Costigan is your man again there. And I neglected to say that at 10:30 on Saturday morning, the Roosters and Cronulla will also be on rugbyleague.com. And the commentators will be Chris Warren and Josh Morris. And finally, on Sunday morning at 7:05, the New Zealand Warriors and the Canberra Raiders, Chris Warren and Daryl Broman bringing you all the action. That's all for Good Morning League fans for another day. Enjoy your Tuesday.